You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Well, welcome to the first day of fall, everyone. I am Glenn the Geek in Ocala, Florida.
I'm Jamie Jennings in Norman, Oklahoma. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Monday, September 2nd, episode 3780, brought to you today by WERM Flooring. Good morning, Horse World.
Well, we have some fun planned for you today. Our home for every horse sanctuary is called Abiding Sunday, and Joanne's going to join us and tell us all about it. Plus, the auditors share some positives for the week, and Jamie had some adventures we're going to chat about as well. You know who else had adventures? We're going to talk about it in the post show. Is Ashley's going to stop by to talk about something fun and terrifying that she did over the weekend. At least I think it's terrifying.
Fun and terrifying.
You and I will find it terrifying.
It's in my middle name today. Oh my God. Some mornings, Glenn, you just don't need coffee. You just don't need coffee because horses are your coffee. Because the jolt of shock that I had this morning when I walked down to the barn at 8 a.m. to feed the horses. And I'm like, good morning. And I'm like, Jax, why are you in the wrong stall? We have a stall that has a paddock attached, and Jax is the intermediate level event horse that is boarding here.
Well, the expensive one.
That's just too much pressure. I can't handle having horses that fancy in my barn. So I walk in.
Nothing over $1,000 at Jamie's barn.
No, everything's cheap here. And this horse, and he's got a huge white blaze, and he's got white socks on his legs. And I walk up to him, and I'm like, "You're not in the right stall." And then I look at him, and I'm like, "Oh my God, you're covered in blood." Whoa. Covered. Oh, I thought, you have those red berries in your paddock. I thought he had some red berries on his nose, and then I walked out closer, and I was like, "Oh my God, his legs are covered in blood. His socks are covered in blood. His blaze from the bottom half down is covered in blood." And I'm like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." Okay. And he's like banging on the door for food. I'm like, what is happening here? So I call his owner, and I'm like, "You got to get out here. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine." But there seems to have been an incident with your horse. Which horse? Jax. Oh my God. That's her big horse. So I go in the stall. I put the halter on him, and I'm like, there's blood just everywhere. Glenn, there is blood all over the walls, all over the waterer. I walk outside on the back side of the paddock, and there's blood all over the side of my barn. There is blood. I look in the feed bucket, and the feed bucket is half full of like clotted blood. Oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? So she's on her way.
Because right away you think artery, right? I mean, that's where you go.
I'm thinking he's missing a limb. There's so much blood. And so I go out and I pull him out and take him up to the cross ties, and I take some pictures of him because I'm like, before I clean this up, I need to let her know what is happening here. So I start cleaning him up. And she arrives, and we're like washing blood off this horse, and we're trying to find where the blood is coming from. Where did it come from? I think it stopped, but I don't know.
So the owner had gotten there by this point?
So the owner is here.
She drove 110 miles an hour.
Oh, I'm sure she did through campus. Like they're looking for her, Yeah. So I mean, it was so much blood that I'm like, it's just like one of those shocking things. And the moral, the end of the story is he got a puncture wound like under his jaw, like he nicked under his jaw and must have nicked an artery. And good God, it looked like a murder scene. Now, here's where
it was stopped bleeding by the time you got to it?
It had stopped by the time I've cleaned it off, and like this is like just happened. So she sprayed it with
So it's not a large tear, just a puncture?
I put the little puncture, my little like medicine that goes up in a puncture wound, and it's like maybe like a quarter of an inch deep. This is an 18-hand horse, Glenn. 18 hands. And the puncture wound was probably an eighth of an inch deep.
No wonder it didn't bother him because
he was like, "Where's my breakfast?" And I'm like, "You were having a monster. Like, this is a problem."
You lost half your blood.
Yeah. She she sprayed it after I put the medicine in it. She sprayed the Alushid on it. So I'm like, we're going to watch to see if he continues to bleed. Because if he does, then we got to put him in a trailer and take him to Oklahoma Equine and get that artery stitched up. But like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. And then you have to be like, I'm a CSI investigator. Right now, I'm covered in blood. Thank God we're not on camera. Because like, of course, he rubs his face on me like, hey. And I'm like,
if you were covered in blood and we were on camera, our ratings would go up, right? Just saying.
Dang it. Sorry. If it's not poultice, it's blood. Yeah. So it's everywhere. And like, there was so much in the food bucket, which is attached to the wall, that the food bucket was stuck to the wall. So I'm having to hammer the food bucket because I got to take it out. And as I hammer the food bucket, boosh, it splashes up. Carter and I are covered in blood. Like Farm Girl and I are covered. It's terrible. Chad drives up and I'm like trying to get tools out of his shed.
Oh
He's
my
like,
God.
what are you doing? I'm like, I'm getting tools. Don't worry about it. Move along. And he's like, if a woman starts to go get tools out of a man's toolbox,
you start to worry about it. Yes.
Then they go, what's going on? And I'm like, everybody's fine. Don't worry about it. He's like, why are you getting to? I was like, it's fine. And he's like, no, well, now he's got to come see. And he walks in. He was like, oh my God.
Last thing a horse husband wants to see.
So I'm hammering this bucket, and every time I hammer it to get the stupid clips undone, the blood splatters up in the air. I'm like, oh.
So of course you'll never figure out where he got it, right?
Oh no! It's but I was like,
it could be anything.
Like, Farm Girl, there's a reason that your horse does not live in this paddock, because he fights over the paddock with his brother, her other horse. So at least it's her two horses causing problems.
Oh, did she put him out?
Each other. She put him out there and was gonna.
Good.
She's like, I was gonna leave him out and then turn him back out later, but I kind of forgot, and then I left.
She won't forget again.
Nope. Nope, not gonna forget again. Oh my God! But so we've taken pictures, sent to the vet. I'm like, it's not enough blood to be a problem. I promise you. And so she sent to the vet. And
how many quarts of blood did we determine? Gallons of blood does a horse have? We went over that recently.
That's what I said. I'm like, he could fill up this food bucket 47 times and he'd be fine. I was like, it's fine. But again, an 18-hand horse with that much blood all over the place, and he's an intermediate level event horse, and I'm just like, absolutely having a heart attack.
And had it stopped bleeding?
I think so, because I cleaned it out, and I mean, it was really hard to get through all the blood to find where the actual tiny little puncture wound was. It was just right under his jaw, I think, and it wasn't bleeding anymore. But like I said, as of now, I left her and she covered in AluShield, and she's that silver spray,
Yeah.
And so she's sitting down there right now watching to see if it continues to bleed.
Well, she'll know if it was spurting that much.
Exactly. So I was like, you'll know in 5 minutes whether or not this is a problem,
by the way,
or if it's
14 gallons on a horse his size.
Okay. Well, he only lost 4.
4 gallons. One of it in your bucket.
Yeah.
Well, now you know why it was in the bucket. He was probably getting a drink or something.
It was his food bucket, so probably it's at the bottom of his jaw, and he's like banging on the food bucket and just like exacerbating the problem. But I mean, oh my God, like that was not the morning I had planned at all.
Okay, now that you're all done with breakfast, let's get on with the show. You were at a show. We're going to talk about that. Hopefully that was happier than this morning. We'll find out. We're going to do some Daily Whinnies first. We have 3 auditor birthdays today. Amy Walrath, Janet Howe, and Anna Biffle. Happy birthday to all of you. And my good friend Chris Krimitsos of Podfest fame, his birthday as well. Happy birthday, Chris. Also, congrats to Auditor Nicole and Megan. They checked off a bucket list item over the weekend. They got to ride at the Biltmore Ride and Tie. It was her horse's first ride and tie. Remember what that is? You ride and you tie your horse and then you run?
Yeah, that's dumb.
So they did that over the weekend, and she said they came in 4th out of 7 and had a great time. What a beautiful location to do a ride and tie, though, at the Biltmore. So, and also, Elizabeth, we're thinking of you. Get better soon.
Oh, hi, Butters. Okay, so I've got to do this story, Glenn. I'm sorry. This is just the coolest thing ever. Okay, so Remington Park is the racetrack that is here in Oklahoma City. And there was a horse owned by Pat Swan and trained by Pat Swan. And his name is Bobcat Bite. And Bobcat Bite is a 3-year-old that has never raced. And he had his first race over the weekend. And Bobcat Bite won his $7,500 maiden race for Oklahoma breds at Remington Park. Oh, sorry. Is his 10th start. He's never won, but he won this race. Now, why is Bobcat Bite a cool story? It's just a low level claiming horse that just happened to win a race at Remington. Do you know the reason his name is Bobcat Bite?
Did he get bit by a bobcat?
He was born in a field premature, a month premature. And because they weren't expecting it. He was born in this field in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma.
You never expect a month early with a horse.
No, and his dam was like, gross. She was a maiden mom and abandoned him.
Ooh.
So he's born in this field and she just left him.
She's like, peace out.
Peace out. I don't know what that thing is. I don't want any part of it. And abandoned him. And then he was attacked by a bobcat as a minutes old foal. Okay. And they found him, I don't know if they found him while the bobcat was there or he had been mauled by a bobcat. So basically, oh no, I know. So this other mare came and stood between him and the bobcat and chased the bobcat away. So we've got a mare who also was out in the field with him. So his name is Bobcat Bite. He was attacked by a bobcat 30 days early and he just won his first race. It is unbelievable that the horse would survive that. He said that I had another mare out on the ranch called Oh My Goodness. And when I came out to find the colt tore up, she was protecting him from any more attacks. And he had to run off the bobcat himself. So he saw the bobcat. This mare jumped in and was trying to save the baby. He has to go out there, get him. He's got bites all over his neck area. He was like, I don't even know if he's ever going to be rideable with a saddle on him. They nursed him back to health and they got him sound and happy and healthy. And he just won his first race. Now it gets even crazier because the sire of this horse is a horse named Cointreau. Now, maybe this is only cool to me, but Cointreau is a son of Shackelford and Cointreau only had one foal. Bobcat Bite.
Oh my gosh.
Cointreau went to race and when he was retired, went to Horse and Hound Rescue as a gelding, came to me to train.
I thought that was one of your horses.
And I kept him here because Anna loved him, my exchange student, and we kept him for 6 months until I kept him here for 6 months. He was the sweetest thing. And I remember Anna saying, Bobcat Bite runs this weekend. Bobcat Bite runs this weekend. And we didn't know he was named Bobcat Bite because he was attacked. I took the Pollock report to publish his story. Now I don't know. I just saw this and I was like, this is like the coolest thing ever. So Bobcat Bite, Cointreau, the whole thing ties in a bow. And now I can't wait to go see his next race. I'm so excited.
Congratulations, Bobcat Bite. Oh my God. That's a story. And then the mare who saved him. I mean, yeah. And the mommy who was a loser.
Right? She sucks.
What a story.
Crazy.
Well,
Crazy.
Now I don't know anything because I was kind of off social media for the weekend. I just needed a break, so I did. And you did something over the weekend. I
did. I didn't talk about it on Friday or even tell you I was going to do it because the weather was supposed to be really crazy and I just knew they were going to cancel it. And so what it is the War Horse show series. It's a 3-day, it's a horse trial and everything's in one day. And I did it last spring and came in second place. And then I wanted to do it again because Ace, my sweet baby thoroughbred, he is fantastic at dressage and he doesn't have a problem with show jumping, but he does not particularly care for cross country. And if you recall, I went to the cross country.
Part of the 3 days.
It's kind of a big deal. And if you recall, I mean, he the last time I did a clinic with an Irish Olympic trainer and she's like, he just doesn't seem to see the point of it. He doesn't get it. He landed on top of fences. So we've stayed in the baby division. And all I wanted from him this weekend was for him to land and canter off. Like, just jump and canter off. Like, just care. Just start to care what you're doing.
At least see the damn jump.
At least jump anything. And they're tiny. I mean, they're just like, 18-inch little logs and stuff, but I just wanted him to care. So I took him out and we did dressage, and he was fantastic. And it started raining about 10 minutes before we went into the test, but it was, thank God, amazingly for Oklahoma, not lightning and not thundering. It was just raining. So I went out, I did my test. He was super good. I was really pleased with it. And turns out after dressage, we're sitting in first. So then we go to cross country, and I'm like, okay, just try. All I want is for you to try. And I took him out, and he actually jumped and cantered off from almost every jump. So I saw the improvement that I wanted to see, which was him actually moving forward, and he was actually starting to look for the next one. The only problem is he's just terrified. Like, he's running with his head up like, oh my God, I'm going to do it, but I'm so scared. So we've still got some work to do, but I saw the improvement that I wanted to see, because I was like, you're going to go be a hunter if you can't figure this out.
I heard the word almost. You didn't fall off at the almost jump, did you?
No,
okay,
no,
good.
We did not.
I thought that was coming.
And the other thing he always does is he bucks in between fences a lot. Like he lands and bucks, and he did not. He was kind of more business-like.
Hey.
He didn't buck at all on cross
horse.
country. He's so pretty and he's so nice. And you take him somewhere and he doesn't get worked up. He's not bothered.
How'd he do in stadium then?
Well, then we have stadium. So it rained all through my cross country as well. And so it stopped raining by the time I got to show jumping, but it's on the grass and he's barefoot and he doesn't quite turn really great. So we pretty much trotted it, and I amassed a massive amount of time penalties, and we ended up in fifth.
He jumped the little jumps though. He did,
but he jumped all little jumps. He's not afraid of show jumping at all. Like, he was great. He was awesome for show jumping. But again, they're like cross rails, But he gets that part of it. It's just that whole meaty part of cross country that seems to be the challenge for him. But I was really pleased, and my friend Patty, another listener, did really well. She had massive improvement from her horse. Farm Girl took her young thoroughbred, and they beat me, but what's fine, whatever. Her horse is doing right off the track, doing flying changes like on course. I'm like, sucks.
So you got yourself a dressage horse, huh?
So his dressage and his hunter, like, he's a hunter. But you know what? Like I said, we'll continue to try. I was ready to hang it up if he didn't show me any.
It's been a long time since you did hunters. And on that note, I have the final results of the September yearling sale before we get to our guest.
Oh, cool.
So the 12 sessions, they sold 2,904 yearlings for a gross of $500 million.
Oh, my God.
$510 million. They beat last year's record of $411 million. Again, a gun runner was the daddy of the sale. He had the sale topper, which we talked about last week, 3.3 million was the highest. He also had the second at 2.2 million. But there were a total of 40 of his horses sold for an average of $877,000.
What is his stud fee? I have to look.
Yeah, you're going to have to look, because whatever it is, it ain't high enough.
Right?
Because $877,000 was the average of his horse, or his offspring sold.
His stud fee this year and last year was $250,000.
Oh, that's going to be $1 million now.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, that's where it's such a game in the market, because, like, who's going to be the hot sire this year,
And he wasn't last year, but somebody else last year. And you're right, next year it'll be somebody else. It's just, I don't know.
It just depends on how his progeny this year run, and it's you know what, Glenn? It almost seems to be a little bit like gambling.
It's funny how that works. All right, let's hear about worm flooring, and then we'll go to our guest.
Well, here's the cool thing. Next time we have worm flooring, I get to talk about how easy or difficult it is to wash blood off of it.
We're going to find out if it stains. Is it stain free?
Let's focus on worm flooring's roof issues, systems.
Maybe today that would be better.
we're gonna go to the roof because I can't do the commercial about blood on the floor until I figure it out. Wormflooring.com now does your trailer roof. Leaky roofs are a very common problem in horse trailers and RVs. Worm Flooring's revolutionary silicone-based coating creates a barrier against the heat and wet. First, it seals your roof to stop leaks before they start. Second, it reflects back nearly 90% of those nasty UV rays, keeping your trailer or barn up to 60 degrees cooler on a blistering day. So ditch the duct tape and buckets. I feel seen. I have duct tape on my barn roof. Invest in long-lasting peace of mind with Seal and Chill. It's applied by pros for a flawless finish. It's only $7.50 a square foot, and that's a steal for a cooler, drier, happier trailer or RV, which means happier horses and people. Head over to wormflooring.com to find a dealer near you. WERMflooring.com to find a dealer near you.
Well, we have a sister company here at Equine Network. It's called A Home for Every Horse, and once a month they provide us with a rescue or a sanctuary that we can talk about. And Melissa, I know, went to the sanctuary with a whole bunch of people, and they helped out on a work weekend, and Melissa couldn't say enough good things about Johanne Gentlebread's sanctuary called Abiding Sunday. Good morning.
Good morning.
She could not say enough good things about this. She's like, you got to get them on the show. So you impressed Melissa somehow, I got to tell you.
I love that. I have no idea what I did, but I'll take it.
You did what you do, and I think that was impressive. So where are you guys located?
We are located 8 miles east of River Falls, Wisconsin, in a little township called Pleasant Valley Township.
Oh, wow. We have a ton of listeners in Wisconsin, Michigan and Wisconsin. Yeah. So what is Abiding Sunday, and how'd you get the name?
Abiding Sunday is a nonprofit broodmare retirement sanctuary. So we offer complete care, rest, and retirement to broodmares. And Abiding Sunday came about because I wanted to offer these mares a never-ending day of rest. And so I thought it would be coming here is their Abiding Sunday.
Oh, that's a great name. I love that.
Yeah.
And
I think all mothers deserve that.
Amen.
I knew Jamie was going to pipe in on that one. She has a junior high schooler, so I think she's feeling that right now.
I feel that.
So how do the mares find you?
Oh, through a multitude of different ways. Generally I have owner referrals. So owners that are wanting to retire their broodmares, whether for various reasons, whether they've just decided that it would be their time to be done with breeding, or if they no longer have the financial means to care for them, they can refer them to me. I also have a lot of organizations will refer them after they've located them in kill pens or auction houses, auction places around the country. So I've had quite a few actually come to me through that route.
How many do you have room for?
Do I have room for?
Well, yeah, okay, that was a dumb question. I know you always have more than you have room for. Well, let's start there. How many do you have room for, and then how many do you have? We talk about this all the time, by the way.
Right. This is the ongoing conversation. How does Johanna say no? No, we have on our property, we've got 50 acres here. So technically we could take upwards of 50. However,
90.
Now I know, right? And just multiply that by 3. 150. They don't need much room, do they? But right now we are sitting comfortably so I also do equine guided somatic coaching as well. And so I have coaching horses on property right now. So in the broodmare in the sanctuary, we have 21 horses in the
that's
sanctuary.
Only half of what you're allowed. So you're good. Yeah.
Right. That's on site. We do have three broodmares in foster right now.
Oh, wow. That's cool. So beyond the sanctuary, I noticed that you talked about on your website too, empowering human mothers. Can you talk about that?
Yes. So as I mentioned, I'm trained as an equine facilitated learning coach. I'm certified in that through the Academy for Coaching with Horses, but I also have done somatic training. So I do equine guided somatic coaching, and I do mother to mother, basically. So I do use the broodmares as the intuitive, natural mothers that they are to help human mothers kind of take control of their mental and emotional well-being through energy work with the horses and somatic work using the guidance of the horses.
God, that must be so satisfying for you too, to see the results.
Yes, it is. I think it's very satisfying to see the results. And it's always mind blowing to see how the horses work and how the sessions kind of flow as the horses guide the humans. Every session is different. Every experience is different. And it's, very mind blowing.
Do you use the retired mares for that?
Yep. If they step forward and they say they want to work with me that day, then we do. Yep.
And that's got to be so. They have a job again too, which I'm sure they love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I don't think so. I believe that every horse is a teacher in their own way. They want to teach, and the way that they teach is going to be different depending on what the individual horse wants. Some want to be, I'll teach the humans while they're riding them, under saddle. With the brood mares, the ones that step into this work, they teach through intuitive, energetic guidance, and a lot of them are. Mothers, we're very intuitive and we're very energetically attuned to our environment, and especially with the horses, they're much more so. They have to be in order to survive, right, in the world. So, or out in the wild. So, of the ones that come and step into that work, it really isn't work for them. It isn't a job. It's just their natural way of wanting to be and to teach.
They're just being moms.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Mother to mother.
So I asked this question of all the rescues and sanctuaries we have on, and the answer is almost always the same, but I've got different answers. What's your biggest challenge running the sanctuary?
Well, probably the same as everyone's. Donations,
money, right?
Funding. Yeah. Part
And
of
some
that
it's been
challenge,
volunteers, more than money even. It's been different
Right.
with some.
And I think, honestly, for me, yes, the donations, the funding, the volunteers, I think for me, the biggest challenge is opening up the sanctuary to be seen. And what I mean by that is letting people know that we're here. That's always a challenge for me because I want to protect these horses. And it's my mission to create a sanctuary. So a safe, quiet place for them to come and kind of, find who they are now as horses, as individual horses within a herd. And I've worked for larger equine welfare organizations in the past. I worked for a very large one up until March of this year for 5 years. And seeing the energy, the constant coming and going of people and other energies that come in and out of those organizations, it can be very hard on the horses. And so I think that's kind of my biggest challenge is sharing this with people, because I don't, I'm like a mama bear. I don't want to expose them to too much, but it's time, I think.
Yeah, and we've covered old friends since we started the show 15 years ago. And, they have people all the time. And I do wonder about that sometimes. They seem to separate off some of the horses that don't want that activity. They put them in the back, And so I can see what you're saying. I get that. But then you also, because it's a sanctuary, you're not being seen because you don't have the horses out for adoption. So you don't have the horses on the adoption site, so they're not seeing you that way. That is a conundrum, isn't it?
It is. It is. And I wanted to create this as a sanctuary for the horses, but also for people to come and to experience in sanctuary the beauty of the horses and the power of the horses. And to share the horses, the experience. People can come with their kids, their mothers, they can have the experience in a sanctuary setting without the pressure of adoptions or the pressure of an agenda. So I think I've done a good job. We've only been around for 3 years. I've been able to set the sanctuary vibe, I guess, energy for the horses. And so the next step is opening it up to the people.
Well, the fact that you've been around 3 years and only have 21, that's pretty good, actually, I'd say, because as Jamie said, all of us would have had 90 by now. So,
boundaries. I've been working hard on boundaries.
Good for you. I don't think we would have done that well. So I do know what we usually do with these segments is we have an adoptable horse that we talked about, because you're not adopting out horses. You have a different program we can chat about.
Yeah, my sponsorship program.
Go ahead, tell everybody about it.
Well, it takes on average, let me pull up the stats here. I did some calculating of what it takes to feed a horse, to feed on average, to take care of the horses.
I don't want to know. I'm a horse husband.
Right. You're gonna hear this. No, it's. I said on the total average monthly cost of a care for a horse, and that includes farrier visits through the year, the feed that I'm giving them, hay and dewormer vaccines, is about $232 a month. And so that's something that we would love to help offset that by having individuals sponsor an individual horse. They could sponsor it can be a recurring monthly sponsor, it can be a one-time monthly donation, but then taking in a horse and one horse that you sponsor, you can feel good about helping make sure that mother is taken care of in her retirement. And you get we would send out a beautiful picture, not an ugly one, a very beautiful picture and a well-written bio by me of the horse. And then you would get people get a t-shirt that says proud sponsor of someone else's mom.
I like that.
That you could wear around and let everybody know. But that would help us offset the costs and help, it kind of personalizes it's one thing to give a donation to a place and not really know where it's going. It's another thing to say, this is who I want it to go to help. And we set up savings accounts in our business account, in our account for each of the horses.
Oh, wow.
So the money would go into their savings account. Yeah.
That's a great idea. By the way, that amount seems low when you live in Florida and have to pay, $30 for a bale of simple hay. So,
a small bale?
Yeah, it's so expensive down here. So when I heard that, I went, "Oh, you're getting off easy up there." It's like,
I can hook you up with a real estate agent if you want to find a property.
Yeah, but then I got to live where there's snow. I mean, there's that too.
That's true.
Is it hard in the winter? That's my last question. Is it hard in the winter? Do you get much snow where you're at in Wisconsin?
That depends the season. So last summer, it sounds about right. Last summer we got snow. No, we got about, I don't know, at one point we maybe had like 8 to 10, 12 inches of snowfall in one night, but it's usually pretty manageable. I think the hardest is the polar vortexes that we get and then the freezing of the water.
The real cold. Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, someone asked me, what season would you prefer to take care of horses, in summer or winter? And I said winter, because there's no flies. There's no bugs. You can always put more blankets on. You can't take skin off a horse to cool it down. And I would rather honestly deal with a frozen water situation than the flies. I've
been on a boat ride there on one of your many lakes, and they said we don't go out on a boat unless it has an indoor section after dark. And I was like, why is that? Well, I found out why. Because as soon as the sun goes down, you wanted to go inside. I mean, you were just attacked. Mm-hmm. You guys have the most vicious mosquitoes and stuff up there. It's like,
and they are invincible. There's nothing. I've been on all the forums about what's the best fly spray, and really in the Midwest there is no fly spray that will work for. I think
Jamie found that out. She's in Oklahoma, and she had the same problem this year. There was no fly spray working this year.
Here's the other thing too, is like what I hate, why I am starting to appreciate winter, is that there's also no surprise snakes. I'm so tired of being surprised by snakes. Yes, the flies suck, mosquitoes suck, snakes. I can't. I just have to move.
She had a few this year that were living in the barn too.
Yeah. And I'm like, can it please get cold so these little buttheads can go underground or wherever they go? Like, where do the bugs go in the winter? Why are they not all dead? How does everything not die? I don't know. I don't get it. But the snakes and the flies, I'm with you. Bring on the winter.
Yeah. Nature has its way, yeah.
We'll put a link to in the show notes for the sponsorship if somebody wants to consider doing that for one of your mares. It's abidingsunday.org, just like it sounds. It's spelled just like it sounds, abidingsunday.org. And then we'll put a direct link to the sponsorship if somebody would like to sponsor one of your mares. What a great idea, too, for a Christmas gift if you want to buy the sponsorship for someone else. And is there a minimum amount, or is it any amount? That was one.
Any amount.
Okay. And you can fill out the form right there on the sponsorship page. This has been terrific. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. And congratulations on making it 3 years and seemingly very happy doing it. That's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Want to reach a passionate, engaged audience of horse lovers? The Horse Radio Network, with thousands of listeners worldwide, offers unique sponsorship opportunities to connect your brand with horse owners, riders, and enthusiasts. Over 90% of our listeners have bought a product from a HRN ad in the past year. Partner with HRN and take your brand to the next level. Visit www.horseradionetwork.com/advertise today.
Okay, Farm Girl just texted me. The bleeding has stopped.
Yay!
She's like,
No trip to the hospital.
She's like, can you keep an eye on him today? And I was like, girl, I'm not going to let that horse leave my sight today. Are you kidding me? It's a big responsibility having a horse like that at your house. And I know a lot of you have board horses or keep horses like that, but that's not typically what I've done. And the level of, like, he's 2 paddocks away from anybody. I mean, he's got, it's just a lot of pressure. And so, yeah, I'm like, I have binoculars that I'm going to stare at him through the window all day. Plus, I will make about 400 visits down to him to make sure he's okay.
You need one of those portable Wi-Fi cameras, and you can just move it around the stall to stall as needed.
Well, I've always said I don't want cameras in the barn because then I will just stare at the cameras in the barn all the time. And like, I've enough.
This way you can
be
be selective. You can just put it in when you need it.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely thinking like today, like.
Yeah. Camera in the barn would be a good idea. Is he staying in, I assume?
He is now out in the paddock he's supposed to be in.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
He is grounded.
Good news for everybody. Let's hope it stays that way and he doesn't find the same whatever he found in the first place.
Well, he's not in that place anymore, so he's good.
So over the weekend, they had a little show called the European Eventing Championships. And let me back up a little, though. In 2013, Laura Collette from England suffered a near-fatal fall from her horse, 'Tis a Beauty, during competition at a horse trials. The mare had a rotational fall landing on top of her. This was what her injuries were 12 years ago. Fractured shoulder, broken ribs, punctured lung, and a lacerated liver and kidney damage. She also had to be resuscitated 5 times by paramedics, was in an induced coma for 6 days. She also lost sight in her right eye, which was caused by a bone fragment that traveled through her bloodstream to get to her optic nerve. Okay? So that was Laura's 2013. And she says without a protective air vest that she was wearing at the time, it saved her life. She said she wouldn't be here today. Well, 12 years later, Laura Collette and her horse London 52 got the gold medal at the European Eventing Championships.
Oh my God. My horse trips and falls in a corner of the arena and I avoid the corner forever. I can't imagine being like, good Lord.
So she worked very, very hard over the last 12 years to get to this point. And London 52 went head to head the whole weekend with guess who and guess what horse?
No, God.
Michael Young
and
Chipmunk. Does Chipmunk play at like 85 now? I don't know. He seems like he should be. So the pair started the competition in second place after dressage. Sound familiar? But moved into the lead during cross country.
That does not sound familiar.
Moving into the lead part. Moved into the lead during cross country with a strong performance that resulted in just 6 time penalties. Apparently cross country was really tough. It gave them a slight advantage, only 1.7 penalties, which is less than a rail, right? Mm-hmm. And she went into the show jumping phase basically with Michael Young on her heels. And despite the high stakes, they delivered a near flawless show jumping around with only a small time penalty, but it was enough to clinch the win. So good for her. It's her first major victory since the accident and just a great story. It gives you goosebumps, doesn't it?
That's awesome.
So
wow.
she deserved it. Yeah. And her horse deserved it too. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of the 2 of them to come. Hopefully they come over to Kentucky in the spring.
Like, Michael, stop it. That's enough. Let somebody else win. And he did.
All right,
kicked his butt.
Speaking of good news, I thought yesterday the world's kind of had a challenging couple of weeks, and I asked the auditors over the weekend to share positives from last week. I thought if we all share some positives, maybe it'll give everybody a little boost, right? And we got 90 of them. So apparently everybody needed a little boost. We only have a small cross-section of them today, but I thought I'd share some of them with you, okay? And you can help out. We'll do every other one. Okay. So Gwen, who's a fellow cruiser from the last cruise we took, her and her husband, she said, I found out I'm getting promoted at the end of the year. Sam and I have so many trips planned in the next 6 months, we keep forgetting about them. Well, that's nice. And I think one of them might be Alaska. I'm not sure. And Banjo, her horse, is the only sound horse right now at the barn, so that my friends is taking lessons on him this week. which is an incredible thing to say after almost putting him down for lameness issues last year. If you remember right, she posted about her horse Banjo a bunch of times last year. She was having so much troubles with him, and now look, he's rising to the occasion. So good job. That's a positive.
Danielle says, and this is
neither one of us get this one.
Well, I do, but I do get it as far as like taking initiative for your health. She said, I started running again last week and it feels so good.
I know Danielle, and she has been a big runner over the years. And congratulations, Danielle, for getting started again. How she has time? She's an ICU nurse and has kids, and I don't know how she has time to do it.
So she has to run. Got to exercise those demons.
Ariel says, my gelding is going to his first event back from injury and schooled cross country fabulously yesterday. It'd be the exact opposite of your horse. Right there.
Hey, my horse he was just scared. Rosemary says, last time I posted that I'd come home with a horse when horse shopping with a client. What I didn't mention was that the horse was a rack of bones, and I bought him because I didn't think he'd make it if I left him there. I paid way too much for him, but my heart couldn't abandon him. The positive is that I thought I saw improvement. He's so sweet, respectful, and well-schooled. Over a week and a half, his balance steadied. He came whenever I went to get him, putting his head down in the halter. And Friday, 2 people who had not seen him since the day he came home came over and said he looked tons better. I'm elated. Still a long way to go, but such positive feedback strengthened my generally optimistic outlook on life.
Yay! You and I have both been exactly where she is. So congratulations, and we know how it feels. We do.
Hey, I've got a good news too. You want me to go last?
Yeah, we'll have you go last.
We'll go last.
Steph said, my confidence as a rider is coming back. Specifically, last week, I cantered my lease horse, and it went great. I had a bad fall last year that really rocked me. Building back slow this year and learning lots of other skills means it's all coming back. Tomorrow, we're going to have the special rider episode by Solange, and she is talking about coming back from a bad fall and how you can do that and the steps to do it. So definitely take a listen to tomorrow's show.
Aaron, and this is like almost like the opposite of first world equestrian problems. I bought a saddle that actually fits my mare and me just in time for fall riding. I mean, when do those pieces fall together? And we've recently had some work done, so we have some new trails on our farm and we're ready to enjoy them.
Yay! Good for you. Amanda said, my husband, Car Guy, got to meet 3 of his idols at a drag race this past Thursday and got their autograph. Funny story, he gave me crap when I asked Boyd Martin for his autograph while he was carrying a bunch of coffees at the Maryland 5-Star. Well, as soon as he sees his favorite racer, he ran over and asked for his autograph, and guess what he was carrying?
Ah!
He can't use that one anymore.
Gemmo says, I got to go to the Highland Games that they do every year in the town I live in. I got to watch the sheepdog trials and pet the Highland cows. Howdy goose, right?
It would be. I got to pet a Highland cow once, and that was fun. Actually, kind of liked it. And I love Highland Games, so we're going to come up and join you next year. Gina said, traveled back to Wisconsin yesterday and had a stroll at a favorite botanical garden with a longtime Horse World friend. We saw so many hummingbirds preparing for migration, even got to see and hear them bickering with each other. There's a few things funnier than hummingbirds cussing each other out. Here's one at rest for a moment.
Oh,
so she did a picture. But hummingbirds are the most fascinating creatures ever to watch. They really are.
So my husband, the fighter pilot, we have a hummingbird feeder on our back patio, and he just watches them and he's like, their tactics are amazing. Like, he talks about how they fly. He's like, you could not pull that off in a fighter jet. Like, that's amazing.
I've never thought about it from that point of view. I'll never look at I'll never look at them the same again.
Linda says, and I have to talk to you about this, Linda. I'm in beautiful South Park, Colorado. I went to see one of my favorite bands at Red Rocks. I went 4-wheeling on one of those ATVs with the big springs up at Horseshoe Mountain. I'm sorry, South Park, Colorado is a real place?
Yes, it is.
I thought it was just a cartoon. I love it. That's why Butters is Butters. I want to go to South Park, Colorado.
Everybody in the country, if you like music, should put on their bucket list to go to Red Rocks one time to watch a concert. If you've never done it, it is worth doing. It is amazing.
All right, you're next.
Yep. Rebecca said, my daughter is going to have my first grandbaby very soon.
Aww.
Oh, can't wait to officially meet baby Willow. I love Willow as a
sweet.
name, by the way.
This is cool. Rachel, she's been posting about this all weekend and it's so cute. She said, despite all of my health stuff, her new baby horse, Vincent, and I made it to his second horse show. And man, they get done up in those horse shows.
She does Western and she looks very spiffy when she goes out and does her horse shows. Jody said, I helped my 78-year-old friend back in the saddle yesterday after 2 hip replacements. She looked so happy up there. I bet she did. That's tough, 2 hip replacements. Those are tough to get over.
Lisa says, my ribs are healing enough that I can breathe mostly without pain. Find the
Poor
bright
Lisa.
spot. Find the bright spot, Lisa.
I'm glad it's getting better. Delia said, my boyfriend and I made it to the Jumbotron at the White Sox game last night, and we got to sit right behind home plate.
Woo!
And you were with the people you were supposed to be with. Amazing.
You're on the Jumbotron and didn't get in trouble. Allison said, here's some really happy horse news.
I put this in here for you, and also you can tease an episode coming up because of this.
Oh, okay. Okay. Here's some happy news from right here in Oklahoma City. Remington Park Racetrack has joined a very special tradition this racing season called Ring the Bell. Oh, I can tell you what I did there. It started down at Oaklawn Racetrack in 2022. The idea is simple but powerful. When a horse wins a race, the owner, trainer, or jockey can ring a big bell in the winner's circle. And that ring means that they're making a donation to help retired thoroughbred racehorses as they move on to new careers.
Talk about a shaming thing, right?
She said, right now, Horse and Hound Rescue is the beneficiary at Remington Park. That means every time the bell rings, it's directly helping us to feed, care for, and find loving homes for these incredible horses. We're so grateful. We love knowing that with each race, there's also hope ringing out for life after the track. Oh, beautiful. She said, P.S. I'm a volunteer at Horse and Hound, and it's the most rewarding work. I'm also lucky enough to hang out with Jamie sometimes. I don't know about that, but I will tell you the ring the bell thing. Okay, so my friends that own the racehorses there, that have the horses that run, we go to the suite. We've gone a couple times, and their suite sits above the winner's circle. And so now, every time a horse wins a race, we all go out to the little outside area, the little, like, what's it called? Anyway, and we all lean down at 1, 2, 3, ring the bell! And it's like you see people are like, where did that come from? And they'll ring the dang bell every time. Like, we are seriously like, we will not let you out of that damn play, out of winner's circle without somebody ringing
what
the
a
bell.
schmuck you look like as a trainer and owner if you don't ring the bell.
Exactly. You just want to race. Give some dang money to the racetrack.
And it doesn't say how much, right?
Rescue.
I mean, you don't have to give like $10,000. It's just you give some money.
I don't know
What
how
a great
much they
idea.
give. Yeah, it's awesome. And it's so cool. I didn't know. I thought it went to a bunch of different rescues. I didn't know that they were the sole beneficiary. Maybe they were one of many or the only one. I don't know. But we shame the hell out of people when we see them win a ring the bell. Like, all of us together from the suite, like outside, we're just yelling down, and you can see them like going, who said that? Who said that? And then they go over and ring the dang bell. It's awesome.
So
so I have good news too.
2 weeks from today.
What's
You want to promote the episode you're doing 2 weeks from today?
Oh, yeah. So I got to sit down with Nelda from Horse and Hound and did a one-on-one episode with her. And it's really, really cool. And just kind of like how she came to come up with the rescue and why. And so we sat down for quite some time and talked about it. And it was one of those episodes where like I felt really good after it, So that means it went well and you did a good job. When you like get done, you're like, that was good. That was good. I also did one with Tad Coffin and I felt the same way. So that'll be the first week of October, second week of October.
So the 6th is when you'll see Nelda and the 8th will be Tad. That's when you're doing your clinics and I'm visiting Ashley in New Mexico. So
cool. Now I need everybody to say a little prayer, keep their fingers crossed, send jingles out. I don't know, whatever y'all do to make good things happen. So do you know the horse Sharp Rocket that has been here for like 3 months on Horse and Hounds? They basically, because of Zoetis, our sponsor, they were doing a grant where a horse got to have some medical attention.
Oh, yeah.
And so Zoetis actually selected a Horse and Hound horse named Sharp Rocket to donate money to, and that horse got to have kissing spine surgery. His back was unmanageable. I mean, he would have been put down. And so they did the kissing spine surgery on Sharp Rocket, and he came here and he's been here doing rehab for 3 months. I mean, I did everything from, trotting over pole, all the things that you have to do to strengthen a horse's top line after kissing spine surgery. And it got to where I've ridden him a couple times just to walk, just around, just to where he's got some weight and he didn't care. Like, I feel like we did a really good job. Well, he left this morning because there's somebody interested in adopting him. And this is not a horse you're going to take and go run cross country with. Like, you have to be very cognizant of his history and his surgery and knowing how to continue to, if you do kissing spine surgery on a horse, you don't keep them in the right shape, then they're going to go right back to scar tissue is going to form again. It can be a big mess. So the lady who is going to look at him apparently does equine therapy, like for the horses, and wants a horse that she can continue the therapy on and do some light riding on.
Yay.
It sounds absolutely perfect. And that's why Neld is amazing, because she will find the right person for the right horse. So he got picked up this morning, is going back to the rescue, and she's going to come look at him this week. So I am like praying that he gets adopted, because there's not many situations where it would be something viable for him to do, and I just hope beyond hope that this works out. So I'll keep you guys updated on that.
Very good. And you know what we're going to do today? I think we should open up the post show today to everybody. We've had such a positive show today with so many positive things. We'll give non-auditors a bonus by opening up the post show to everybody today. So when if you're not an auditor and you normally bail out after this music coming up, stay, because we're going to have Ashley on. She's going to tell us all about her fun weekend, and we never know what we get to talking about in the post show. So
sometimes we swear though, so yeah, I'll
play the disclaimer though.
Okay.
I'll definitely do that. Also, I wanted to close with another good news story today. Remember on Friday, I talked about the badass 80-year-old woman who finished the Appalachian Trail, who thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail at the age of 80? Well, to go to the opposite end of that, this one's much younger. Her name is Tara Dower, and she just set the record regardless of gender. This is a record, period, male and female, for doing the Appalachian Trail in the fastest time ever. Now, keep in mind, this is 2,200 miles from Georgia to Maine over every mountain on the way. She just finished it in 40 days, 18 hours, and 5 minutes. So, Give you an idea, 40 days is 10 days over a month. Most finish it in 5 to 6 months is the average. She averaged 54 to 60 miles a day. That's running over the mountains. So she would.
These poor people are hiking and they just say, coming through.
Yeah.
Coming through.
She had to go past like 1,000 people on the way. Yeah, wow. She did. She said she did it she said, this is exactly what she said. She did it to light a flame for others, for women who dare to believe that they can go further than they ever thought possible, to prove that endurance isn't just a measure of distance, but of heart, grit, and daily choices. So she dropped to her knees at the end, and she said she felt, that she was just very happy, obviously, that she made it. I can't imagine doing 50 to 60 miles a day over the mountains. That's just crazy.
Wow, that's crazy.
There's a tough woman right there. So anyway, hold on for the post show, everybody.
Time for the Auditor Post Show. We want to remind you that this is not always safe for work or the kiddos. Thanks for hanging around for our nonsense.
So we have a bonus today. Ashley's joining us in the post show. Hey, Ashley.
Woohoo! Hi, guys.
Wait till you listen to the beginning of the show today to find out Jamie's latest story and what she's going to be doing after the post show today. Which won't.
Oh, geez.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Now it's fine, but she has some cleanup to do. That's not fun. So, Ashley, you did something over the weekend that a lot of people think they want to do, but most of us never do because we really change our mind at the last minute. Tell everybody what you did.
So I went 8,500 feet above sea level in a hot air balloon.
And whose idea was this? Yours or your husband?
This was my darling husband's idea.
For your anniversary.
I'm sure my life insurance was upped simultaneously with no correlation there at all.
And this was an anniversary thing?
This was our 14th year being married.
Happy anniversary. And
well, thank
so
you.
for your anniversary, your husband says, we're going to go up in a hot air balloon. I'm going to kill us both.
Yes.
We just had a baby, so there's that. I assume the baby didn't go along in a hot air balloon.
Oh my gosh, no.
Okay. Good.
No,
Right.
he had to find our sitter, which obviously is usually like a date night thing. He had to convince her to come over at 6 a.m. because you launch with the sunrise. And I was like, you better pay her extra for waking up so early.
Jamie, is this something you would ever do? Ever?
Oh, well, if you're going to ask me, I'm going to have to tell you a story, but I don't want to interrupt Ashley's good tidings.
Ashley, tell us about your balloon ride. How was it more terrifying than you thought? Less terrifying than you thought?
And I would have taken the baby because I'd have been like, if we go down, we're going down together.
Oh my God. I would not have been able to enjoy myself if Levi was there. First of all, there was no, when you're on a plane, they're like, the exits are at the fore and the aft, and your life vest is under your seat. There's none of that. There's none of that. There's no parachute. There's a rope handle and the stanchions that hold up the fire that keeps you afloat.
And the basket never seems to be high enough up the side, in my opinion.
Well, thankfully, I'm little. So, it came up at least to my chest. I was in there. You know what I mean? Thank goodness.
You think hot air balloon, it doesn't sound that scary to me, but until you realize that when you go up, you're at the mercy of wind and whatever. There's no controlling it. It's just we go up and we try to go down as gently as possible. There's no, you could land in the middle of a freeway. You could land on power lines. There's all sorts of things that could happen.
Did you enjoy any of it? And did you look down?
Did you know about all that before?
This was my, God bless Zach. We love him. And I'm not much of a wuss. I'm brave when it comes to most things. And I wouldn't say I'm scared of heights, but they're not my favorite thing. I enjoyed it. On a 10 scale, I'll give it like an 8.5. It really was a spectacular experience to see the sun rising over the Sandias and to see, all of Albuquerque. It's such a little blip on a map, but I just tried to not look down as much as I looked out.
Smart move.
And that helped me a lot. There was one picture Zach took where he leaned over the side and took a picture down, and it makes me nauseous to think about.
Your pictures were beautiful. It did look like a beautiful morning for a hot air balloon ride.
And it was so peaceful. When the of the fire wasn't going, it was like sailing in the sky.
Oh, that's a good analogy.
What I would
actually
relate it to.
Yeah. Jamie doesn't go on boats either, so I mean, there's that. So
all of this is given me. Okay, so I was a traffic reporter in Atlanta for 10 years, and the traffic center that I was in, which was basically my booth, was sold to a sponsorship. And it was sold to Remax, the real estate place.
And they have hot air balloons.
And so I would do the 85 South, blah, blah, blah. From the Remax Hot Air Balloon Traffic Center, I'm Jamie Massey. You do this whole thing, a thing. Well, they were now that Remax has bought the traffic center and they bought your particular traffic center to continue to do this, we're going to need you to go up in a hot air balloon and actually do traffic reports from a hot air balloon.
I quit. I'm out.
And I was like, I'm sorry, wait, what? I did not know that you selling this sponsorship was contingent on me. I'm not getting paid extra. You get paid extra. I'm not getting money because I'm at the end of every trap from the Remax Hot Air Balloon Traffic Center. I'm Jamie Massey on Star 94, whatever. I think it was Q100. All the hits Q100. Yeah. And so I was like, what do I do? And then they detailed all of the things that basically I said to you at the beginning, which is we go up at 6 a.m. We don't know where we're going. We don't know where we're going to land. Like there's no control. And I was like, well, I quit. Like I'm not doing that. I went up in the traffic helicopter several times and I was like, that's enough. Like that's enough. At least I'm good.
At least it goes fine where you point it. The traffic helicopter.
I mean, to your point, Jamie, we landed in the middle of a trailer park.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Did you share the champagne with everybody in the trailer park?
No. Glenn, who are you talking to? Who am I sharing champagne with? Zach's lucky he got even one glass.
Now, I think it's tradition. They always bring a bottle of champagne and you have it when you land.
It is. And there's a fun little history about it because, I had to ask because I'm a history nerd. And so the first hot air balloon flight was basically funded by King Louis, the Sun King of France. And the first flight, all of the, peasants and farm workers attacked a balloon. They thought it was like a demon or a dragon. And so the king said, when you're landing, land with a bottle of champagne facing out. They'll see the king's seal and know that you're there because of me. And then, split the champagne with them too. And so thank God when we landed, they had like 3 bottles of champagne and the crew's drinking, everybody's just drinking. And they're like, oh, ma'am, do you want more? I'm like, yes, please. Because my nerves were through the roof. I mean, like my arms and abs are still sore because I was just clinging for dear life the entire time.
I'd be like, I'm just going to lay down in the bottom. Let me know when it's over.
I wonder how many people do sit in the bottom and wait for it to end.
I did make a joke. I said, I don't know. They're like, did you enjoy it? I was like, I was blacked out. I don't know what happened up there. And they're like, well, we would know if you blacked out because we have had people pass out. And I'm like, imagine that. You pass out in a hot air balloon and you wake up and you're 8,000 feet in the air. Oh my God.
I used to fly a lot with my friend who had a plane and a pilot's license in the small planes. And we used to get up to 5,000 feet. And I thought that was high in a small plane. You guys were at 8,000.
Well, and then we're coming down and I'm like, okay, I could survive this. Like we're nearly there, Ashley. You've done it. Like you've been brave. And the whole time I'm trying to play it cool, you guys, which I am an actress. But like, I was so scared the whole time. I'm just trying to like smiley and make jokes and like, okay, when are we done? And I'm like, okay, I could survive a fall from here. Like we're almost there. And I'm like, Murray, how far up off the ground are we? And he's like, oh, we're still 300 feet high. And I'm like, oh my God.
I'm not surviving.
I'm not surviving that. I can't survive that.
Did you crash? I mean, was the landing good or did the bucket
tip over? The landing was perfect.
Okay,
no, okay. We went right down and it was really cute. Actually, the balloon, deflated and fell over us inside the basket. And so they're like, are you guys okay in here? And Zach's like, yeah, we're just smooching because we were totally private from the balloon.
I guarantee you weren't smooching.
Oh, there was a smooch. Like a thank God I've survived.
Our child has parents now. He's not an orphan.
He's not an orphan. Thank goodness.
Well,
I'm glad I did it. It was really cool.
He slept on the couch that night. But it's not the first one to have an anniversary sleeping on the couch.
I'm really glad we did it. And then we went to our favorite brunch place afterwards where I proceeded to have another glass of wine because I was riding so high, you guys.
Look, when you go with us to see the Hot Air Balloon Festival, when 1,000 of them take off together, you'll appreciate it more now.
I'm like, that's terrifying. All of that chaos. Like at least it was just our balloon. And there was, I counted 9 other balloons up at the same time as we were.
Wow.
And none of them can steer. Like it's just, I feel like, and I try to avoid blanket statements, but I'm going to throw one out here. Most horse people are control freaks because we have to be, because our horses are always trying to kill themselves, right?
I would probably say to some degree that's true.
And that's just back to Jamie's point. There is no control in a hot air balloon. 0. So do with that what you will, dear listeners.
We're glad you survived, Ashley. We're glad you made it.
Well, yeah, especially, since you and Jen are coming for the balloon fiesta, I couldn't very well go off in that
our room's
manner.
Still at your house. You didn't have to sell the house or anything. We're good. Right. We're good. Okay. Glad to hear it. All right. I know you have to go. Thanks, Ashley.
All right. Take care, guys.
I love helicopters, by the way. You talked about helicopters. I just think they're the most fascinating things. And I know Chad doesn't like helicopters at all. But
the thing is, he's like in an airplane, I can glide down. Like I can still go down slowly. And so when you're in a helicopter for traffic, what happens is there's a wreck, right, on the ground, and you have to fly over the wreck. And they fly the helicopter kind of tipped sideways. So the reporter is on the lower side so they can see.
So you're looking straight down.
So you're looking straight down at it. And so I'm on the side, and we're over this wreck, and Captain Herb Emery, oh, God love him, he was up in the front, and I was behind him in the back, and they're tipped sideways, and we're hovering over this wreck. Okay. And again, I know I've explained this to you, Glenn, but like, you know that ride at Six Flags where you go all the way up and then you go forward and then the free fall ride where they're going to drop you down.
Yes.
And when you go all the way up and then they scooch out to the front and you're like waiting to fall and you have that feeling in your stomach of like, here goes, I'm about to fall, I'm about to drop. That's how I felt in the helicopter. And so I'm in there with Captain Herb and I'm pretty quiet and they're like, you okay? And I was like, can we just move around a little bit? So the days I was in the helicopter, I would not let them hover over a wreck. They had to fly circles over the wreck because like I couldn't handle it. I couldn't emotionally handle the fact that we were just hovering. It felt like the free fall was about to happen. And that's what happened. Like, I don't trust technology enough to this thing to not just grind its gears to a halt and then just plummet out of the sky.
Did yours have doors or not on the side?
Yeah. There's doors. So it was a 4-door. The first helicopter I went into had duct tape on it. And I was like, what the hell?
Not just for horse farms.
Yep. So duct tape on it. And then after that, I was able to get in Captain Herb's helicopter and he had the nice one because he was kind of a big deal.
So I'll tell you about 2 helicopter rides I did. The most beautiful one I did, and still my favorite of all time, was I flew out of, Jennifer wouldn't go, me and 2 Asian ladies from Japan flew out of Las Vegas, and we flew to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and we all had breakfast together. We landed, and we all had breakfast together at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and then flew out of the bottom, and he flew straight up the wall of the Grand Canyon, and when we popped out the top, you had the whole desert in front of you. It was so cool. It was really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Then he flew, on the way back, he flew around the stratosphere. You remember the tall stratosphere that had the roller coaster at the top at one point? Yeah. Well, he flew around that and said, I'd never do that. He was a Vietnam pilot, helicopter pilot. He said, I'd never do that. That's crazy. I was like, you're doing this. So anyway, that was the most beautiful one. The most terrifying one I ever did was a couple of years ago with my brother. We were at the air show, and they had this Vietnam era helicopter, and it had the no doors on the side, you know, where they stood and shot at people on the ground. Had no doors. So what they did is they put bench seats on each side, and you faced out the door, the passengers, us. Nope. So we faced out the door, but the problem was there was no handholds. And the only thing holding you, I thought this would be great. We'll have shoulder straps like a roller coaster, right? Nope. It was the Vietnam era lap belts.
Oh, God.
That was it. So when you were in the air and they tilted the helicopter like you're talking about, the only thing holding you in, you're looking straight down at the ground, 3,000 feet up, was the lap belts. Because there was nothing to hold on to. I was never so terrified as that. If it had shoulder restraints or a handhold, something, I'd have felt better. But pretty much everybody, there were 8 of us at a time, 4 on each side. And I looked, my brother I thought he was going to die of a heart attack. And then I looked to the right, and those 2 guys were not looking, they were looking pretty white too. I thought I did the best of the 4 of us on our side. Thank God, for some reason, they tilted more on the other side. Those poor people looked white as sheets when they got out. So I'll never do that again. That was. I
don't want to trust technology anymore. Like, it's just no.
I didn't want to trust a Vietnam era lap belt.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's some sort of technology to make a lap belt. No, I don't trust it.
I at least thought they would have shoulder harnesses or something. Like, I can do the roller coasters that have the shoulder things. That's great. But lap belts, not so much. Anyway, there we go. There's our stories of being high in the air and terrified.
I've had too much adrenaline this morning.
Yes,
I need to go to bed.
Well, look, you get to clean up blood the rest of the day. How fun is that? I mean,
she was like, how did we get this blood off the walls? And I was like, we?
Your horse. How much are you paying? Board?
Not enough.
On that
She
note,
did clean out the blood bucket, so we're good.
On that note, we're going to leave you and look for Solange tomorrow. She'll be here talking about how to overcome a fall and get back to riding. And she has a guest on that went through all of this, and she's going to go over how she did it because it's tough sometimes. And we have a lot of shows planned for you later in the week. Get your weird news into Jamie at weirdnews@horseradionetwork.com.
No. Okay. Weird news at horseradionetwork.com.
Yep. See you, everybody.
Bye. Spay Neuter Geld. I don't know if I said it at the beginning. Yeah, I didn't because it was different.
Congratulations. You made it through another post show. Thank you for all your support. Now, go ride your horse.